We've definitely established that we're in a bad situation. We're kind of lost.
Basically, on this day, I walked an entire marathon. It was 10 plus hours, and by the end, I was completely lost on top of a mountain and my phone died. If you missed my last video, I'm currently doing the Tour de Mont Blanc, which is a 9-day hike around Mont Blanc the mountain, which crosses 3 different countries, France, Italy, and Switzerland. In my first 2 videos, I made a bunch of cool new friends. One of them has mysteriously disappeared, and now I'm going to hike from France into Italy. We started in the campground. I should chuck this out, I'm sorry.
I'm just working in a chapeau. It's about 6, actually it's about 7 a.m. now. About to head off. And it's gonna be a big day, so I'm a bit nervous. But I'm not feeling as sore as I did yesterday, which is really nice.
So we started in the campground, and most people take a shuttle from the campground to the base of one of the mountains where you can start hiking up. But the hike actually starts at the campground. And I had managed to not take any shortcuts so far, and I was pretty adamant that I wanted to walk the entire Tour de Mont Blanc on foot. No buses, no shuttle, no cable cars, just me and the mountain.
You could take a shuttle, but we won't.
And so I made the decision with my friend from New York that we would walk from the campground to the start of the hike. And that was like an uphill on a road.
So beautiful for what, 8 a.m? The first walk of the day. Feeling good, warming up. The campground, I'm gonna have to put a band-aid on my foot, I've got a blister.
I'm back. Insolent woman. Certainly a lot of fields here.
An hour of walking, we are halfway.
So instead of shaving off an hour at the start, we were basically an hour behind everyone else.
3 hours to lunch. Right now this view is insane. There's a cow right in front of me. Oh, beauty. Woo! Trying to find Peter's at this refuge. What's the verdict? Is he? Bonjour.
I think so. It could be inside. Where did they come out?
Paragliders. We're going up there. We've come from way down there. Oh, it's so windy. I'm gonna come in closer. Almost there. I'm dying a little. Just keeping my head down. I'm gonna keep going.
Then we proceeded to walk from France into Italy.
We made it. We made it. This signifies the border between France and Italy. How awesome is that? Roma is that way. Amsterdam. Nice. That's awesome. Let's do it. Let's get back down the mountain. Into
Italia.
Okay, onwards and upwards. Bit of snow never stopped anyone.
Care for that at all or no?
The view?
Yeah.
I don't mind. Do you want to go? Okay. Don't hurt yourself. Be careful. Okay, that was
no.
That was completely.
Oh no.
You idiot! You're an idiot. We've already come so far. Like that's where the rock place is that we were just at. This is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, coming to Mont Blanc. Okay, let's keep going down. Let's keep going down.
Gotta have a little fencing fight on top of it.
Boys. People are just like picnicking on the rock. Picnicking on the rock up there. We both need to remember this in case we come back into the valley. Look how sheer that drop is.
We still had a long way to go. We still had a huge clearing to walk through and then climb another mountain.
Infections. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go swim in that puddle.
But we really subscribed to this stop and smell the roses mentality where we just wanted to make sure we got everything we could out of the hike.
I'm sorry. He's peeing in the background.
And so we stopped at a refugio to get some Italian pasta for lunch.
We're having a debate whether to go up to this refugio because I don't want to go up. Okay, we're sending for water, for toilet, for food. Let's get it done.
Which in retrospect was not a very, that was not an effective use of time. But it was helpful because I had the worst blisters at this point. My feet were killing me. And I met the nicest group of men who I mentioned that I was in a lot of pain, and they immediately attended to me, gave me bandages and tape to wrap up my toes. There's a... Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna step out of the way.
So what it is would be place here.
If you watched my first video, you remember that I ran into some Indian co-workers on my shuttle just before I started the hike.
I made friends with a group of Indian co-workers who were all going to do the Tour Mont Blanc together.
And I never thought I'd see them again, but I did 3 days later. It's like seeing an old friend.
Oh, they're awesome.
And now it's straight. We're on a straight road.
And we have one mission and one mission only. What is the mission?
Gelato?
No, finding Ollie.
Oh.
We're finding Ollie. Unless he doesn't want to be found, in which case we respect that and whatever.
We walked through the clearing, and then around 4 p.m. we reached the bottom of the final mountain. Now at this point, most people, if they got to this mountain around 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. whenever we got there, would decide to take the shuttle straight to the campground or to the little Italian town that most people were staying in, Cablecar. But again, I wanted to do everything. I didn't want to take any shortcuts. I didn't want to miss out on the Italian Alps. So we decided that we would climb this mountain. Dun dun dun. Like, that's where it should be, because it was a bad decision.
And everyone keeps telling us this sound is terrible, but we're pushing on. We're gonna do it. Even though it's like 4 hours.
Pessimistic 4 hours, we'll be fine.
A good decision. I don't regret it, but it was a bad decision. The sign said that it would take about 3 hours to get across the mountain. Now, when we interpreted that, we thought it meant it would take 3 hours to get into Cablecar, like the Italian village, where my initial plan was that I would get into Cablecar and then catch a bus to my campground. But that's not a shortcut, that's just how you have to get to the campground. But in retrospect, what I'm realizing now is it meant 3 hours to get to the top of the mountain. I think you can start to put 2 and 2 together with what eventually ended up happening.
Look how gorgeous this is. Halfway to the top. Somewhere up there. A little lake. We're not stopping. We're going up. I'm dying. I've been told we're almost there. That was a good suggestion, just like keep up the momentum, just keep going no matter how slow.
Yeah.
That was a good idea.
You need a waypoint. It's like something to work towards.
Yeah. God, it's so long. We're still like maybe 10k away. So hard. Holy shit. This was a tough day. It was really long. I don't mean to celebrate too soon, but I think we've summited our final mountain of the day.
Yeah, it's like...
Yay!
Like maybe like... on the switchback, but...
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love it. We did it! I think the last one's here. Whatever. Who knows? Woo! We did it! And now down into Cablecar, somewhere over there. It is sheer. Adventure. I like the adventure. God. Probably won't get down until 9 p.m. And so how long is that, like a 12-hour day hike? It's a 12-hour day of hiking. But it's worth it.
Fuck it.
Now we're listening.
43-minute album. We'll get through it, I think,
We'll
on
get
one charge.
very quickly. We're chasing daylight. You can see the light line, and we're gonna listen to Dark Side of the Moon.
Class. Absolutely class.
Absolute class. Listening to Dark Side of the Moon hits differently when you're literally like on the side of a huge mountain.
I don't know when it started to click that things weren't quite right. I think it was the fact that after we started doing the traverse, it had already been like 3 hours and we had no idea where the end point was. I have absolutely no clue where this ends. Oh well, we're having a good time. Trail runners. And there's a few trail runners along on this route, and I would stop them and say, how close are we to Courmayeur? And either they were confused and didn't totally understand, or they were shocked because Courmayeur was still like 3 hours away, and by this stage it was probably like 6 p.m. And then when I checked my maps, it kept coming up like 5 hours away, or like basically Courmayeur was unreachable from where we were. There was no more signs of the Tour de Mont Blanc along our route, so I started to suspect maybe we had not actually taken the right route, that we had gone off on some variant. So a variant is basically a path off from the main route, which is more beautiful but far more circuitous, and like it's just a longer route and usually more treacherous. Golden hour on the mountain. Oh gosh, we still have so much to do. So much to do. Do you see things?
Yeah, they're down there. They're running around.
Woo! Oh my god, they're so cute. We're seeing little animals. Now we're listening to Call Me By Your Name soundtrack. Given it was so late and I was in a lot of pain and we're both exhausted, we would just decide to take the cable car down. From the bottom to the top, we have done nothing without a bus or a cable car. This is all us, all natural, and I think that's the way it's meant to be. Always will be. We will. I will die before I take a shortcut. I will die. You heard it here first. Before I do anything that relates to a bus or a cable car. That's a promise. Then we realized it was too late. The cable car was closed. Also, the bus from the campground was going to stop. I was gonna not be able to get to the campground when I got into Courmayeur, and so that's when the guy from New York had to like get us accommodation in Courmayeur. Otherwise, we'd have nowhere to sleep that night. It's gone to the stage where we have to write the hotel on my arm just in case both our phones die and we don't know how to get out of here. Holy shit! Yeah. Oh, we're so stupid.
And it's called Hotel of the Valley.
So stupid. And I started to fully panic. We're starting to doubt whether we are taking the right route because we're 3 hours still from Courmayeur and we've been traveling for probably like 2 hours. So we're kind of lost. Thank God I was with the guy from New York, because when I was panicking, he was like, it's okay, just keep going, just keep going. And eventually we saw some sort of cabin out in the woods and we figured someone's gonna be there, someone has to be there. We're gonna ask for directions, or maybe they'll give us a ride down into town or something, because we can't be stuck here. We just can't. So we're just gonna walk up to a refugio that we found and just hope that they will have information for us, because we don't really know what we're doing right now. And slightly scary because we've been hiking for 12 hours and it's getting late and we're really far away from where we want to be, and we're alone. And our phones are about to die. It appeared quite abandoned. And I was like, you wait outside and I'm gonna go in and just figure out how to get out of this situation. Go back inside. No one in here. Oh, this was scary. And I burst into the dining room and everyone just turned to look at me like, what the heck? And everyone's sitting down to dinner. But actually they'd all finished dinner. And the waiter was like, can I help you? I was like, where am I? Very dramatic, by the way. He calmed me down. He was so sweet. He said, can I get you some water? And I was like, yes, please. And then he said, Courmayeur is about 3 hours away. And he's like, just go down that hill. We're back on the TMB. In a red turn event, this beautiful horse has now come across our path. And we found this beautiful field of cattle. We're still going down there, hour and 30. I'm really struggling. I'm hobbling down this mountain. I'm in a lot of pain and still has an hour left. My feet felt like bloody stumps, like the impact of the concrete on my hiking boots mixed with just like open wounds on my toes and my feet. It was just so much pain. It was getting dark and eventually we're like, no, screw this, let's just run. And eventually the running tactic worked and we probably shaved off like half an hour of the whole hike. And we get to the bottom and we see the town. It's like we still have to hike through the town and cross the river and all that sort of stuff, but we see the town. And then the guy from New York goes, I can't find my phone. And he realizes it's fallen out of his pocket while we're running down the mountain. And so he just leaves his bag with me and he has to run back up the mountain. And it's just pure ascent. It's just vert, up, 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 up. It dawns on me that if he does not return with his phone, we're gonna have to use my phone to navigate to the hotel. But my phone was about on 5%. And so I had to get out a pen and I drew a map of the entire town and like our route to get to the hotel on my legs. I was like, this is just a mess. He found his phone. And then we still had to make the awful commute through the town, which was more uphill and downhill, to eventually get to our hotel.
Okay, so we are in a hotel. Finally, I took my shoes off. I feel disgusting. We make it to this hotel and the restaurant's closed, so we have to go back out. And we had to walk up to the second floor with all our bags. I have reached complete and utter mental exhaustion. So difficult. If anyone does the TMB, split the days. Shampoo and Comier, split it. Don't do it all in one. We started walking, we got up at 6. We started walking at 7:30. It is now 9. It's now, what time is it? It's 10. We walked for more than 12 hours. With one lunch break. So exhausting. My feet are just dead. They're covered in blisters. Blisters all over and they're just in so much pain. It was so hard.
Sorry if this is blurry, I can't tell. But I'll have to do.
What's your pastry of choice?
And that one's made of sedimentary rock and that one's made of granite. And so they weather at different speeds.
Yeah, different rates.
Different rates. And so that's more jagged because it's sedimentary. It's more smooth. It's granite. Bang, bang, over, done. Or we could just walk straight through it.
You know, that might actually be like the subduction area. Like that's where the plate one goes under the other.
Such a nerd.
No, I'm serious.
Probably is. Look at the way it curves together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is what I care about, the beautiful flowers.
Care about the beautiful flowers as opposed to the geology.
Yeah, I'm like, oh cool, that's a mountain. But look at this little daisy.